Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
It's not the same, seeing Barry Manilow walk by as you're standing there, having a smoke on the streets of New York, and there goes Barry Manilow. It's not the same as seeing like Joe Montana. Joe Montana
in the airport, right?
That's my brush with greatness with Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Walking through Tampa International Airport. I'm just walking, going to airside, and I was like, this guy walks by me, and I'm like, holy sh! That's Joe Montana. Joe Montana! And he just turned around like, hey. Off he goes. I mean, so I didn't expect him to sit down and have a coffee.
No?
I would have loved it.
Well, he didn't know who you were. If he had of, you would have gotten that coffee.
That's a good point. That's a good point, my friend. But I was just brushed with greatness. I was like, oh, man. That's freaking Joe Montana. You kidding me, man? That guy's a freaking legend.
I just absolutely loved Joe Montana. When I was a kid, he was in the Falcons division. It would always destroy the Falcons twice a year, but I love that connection, Montana to Rice. I love those two. And the reason we were talking about Joe Montana is his jersey just sold at auction. It was the most expensive game-worn jersey ever. It was in 2 Super Bowls. And it brought in over $1 million. So that's pretty awesome.
That is,
and I'm glad
awesome.
It's him.
If you make I made the guess it had to be Brady, right? You figure
you thought Brady, yeah. I
but in Brady's era, they weren't wearing the same jerseys, right? That's kind of strange that he would wear the same jersey at the
and I just saw the headline, right? So I don't have all the story there, but it did say worn in 2 Super Bowls.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, how did that not go to Canton immediately after the game?
Right.
There you go.
Joe was like, "No, that's mine.
That's mine.
Yeah, you're not taking it. Move on. I'm Joe Montana. Go get somebody else's jersey." Oh, freaking awesome, man.
That is cool.
That is really awesome. I would love to. Joe, if you're listening, morning. How you doing? You can call in 888-900-3393. Maybe you remember, passing me at Tampa International. It was a long time ago now, but a few years ago.
It broke that you were. You know how your guess was Tom Brady. He did have the record.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It was the jersey that sold for a mere $480,000.
I spit it, $400,000 for a jersey.
That was the one where they thought, it was going to be his last one. I believe is what that was.
So now it's next to last.
And so this one was 1.2 that Joe's brought in.
Man. Hello. That's well worth the money, man. If you've got an extra $1 million kicking around, that's well worth the money, man.
I love it.
Because, Joe, did he sign it? Is it signed?
Let's see. It doesn't say that it was signed. He wore it during the drive.
Oh.
Okay, so.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so let's see. So it was the one that beat the Dolphins, and then the Bengals. That was where poor Cincinnati had the Super Bowl, and
right.
I have no room to talk. But anyway, and then he came back and threw that touchdown. Okay,
that's awesome, just awesome. Anyway, welcome to Pat Gray Unleashed. So you can dial the same number that Joe Montana can call, 888-900-3393 if you'd like to participate in the show. You can tweet us at Pat Unleashed. Pat is on vacation. I'm not sure where he's at. He's out gallivanting the countryside somewhere, but we have had some sightings.
We have. That's interesting.
And a couple of people sent in a couple of pictures of Pat. Now
in Utah, right? That's where he told us he was going.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm not sure where he's there. We heard about him being in West Virginia, taking care of a truck spill.
That's right. That's right.
We talked. Now, these pictures are him in.
Is this in Newfoundland?
It is.
Okay.
Actually.
All right. There he is.
There's the first one. He's on the shore looking for seals.
Wow.
And the second one,
looking good.
He's got the club in hand. It looks like he needs a bigger club.
Let's see. Where's this?
But
where's the other one?
Right
oh,
there.
no.
And I will say you can tell by that one that this is a new picture and not an old picture because the way the neck is.
I see.
That's after the fall.
After the fall. You see, that's the mama seal in the background. The baby's at his feet. I mean, this is impending doom for that little skirt.
Most definitely.
Oh,
is.
no.
I know.
So that's post-fall.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I see what you're
post-fall. So, yeah, because there's a neck issue. So, I mean, you know that it's real.
Is this lifted from like an LL Bean catalog?
It's real. It probably is.
Good stuff.
Absolutely,
man.
probably is. So we also had a night launch happen in Florida at midnight. SpaceX took off and launched a rocket. Awesome. 4 astronauts into space. Night launches in Florida are so cool. There's your 4 astronauts headed off in space. Stephen Bowen and Warren, what's Warren's name? Holberg. And those are from the United States. And then the UAE, Sultan Al Niyadi. That's kind of, I like that name. I could name my kid Sultan. And Russian cosmonaut Andrei Fedyaev. Blast off. And night launches in Florida at Cape Canaveral are so cool.
You've probably seen them, huh?
I have.
Yeah.
And even if you're not there at Cape Canaveral, which is awesome, you can see them wherever you're at in Florida. Yeah, really cool. Really cool. I mean, day launches are cool too, but the night launches are extra special.
So what's this thing doing?
Here we go, baby.
What are they taking up there?
This one's going up to the... Oh, we can't talk about that.
What do you mean?
No, we don't know what the payload is. We're just going up. This might be another trash run. I'm not sure. Might be going up to the ISS. And, come on, get out of here. So we'll get out of here.
That's cool.
Should be there sometime tomorrow. We'll have some docking procedures going on. But anyway, because this one was supposed to launch on Monday, and apparently there was some clouds or something happening. Couldn't take off. No, there was actually some mechanical issue. The engine ignition system had a clogged filter.
I think the older you get, that tends to happen.
Anytime the old engine ignition.
Some of these older rockets.
I'm with you. Has a little clogging issue. So you got to postpone it. Now I have to wait a couple of days, okay? Until this thing gets unclogged. But that's the way it is. What are you going to do? Even NASA has the problem.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Oh, by the way, I got to throw this out there just to get it on the record. A couple of weeks ago, I said that Joe Bastardi said that winter wasn't done with Texas. Okay?
Right. March. In like a lion, out like a lion.
There you go, yeah. Okay, so one of the forecast models that he really likes is the European model. Who among us? And then it's
Eastern Bloc fan forever.
This thing predicted well ahead of any other computer model. November's cold snap in Texas.
Okay.
Our December really cold. Our brutal shot in February, and now it says 7 to 10 inches of snow in North Texas.
No way.
Next Saturday, I swear, this thing. What a bold prediction! If this is right. Then so help me, this will be the only weather model we should ever follow.
I mean, we have
been in the 80s here.
The storm system coming through today, and today and tomorrow is supposed to be really bad. But that's the moisture coming up from the Gulf and then hitting this front that's coming across.
Look at that.
So this is going to have to be after that front.
Yeah, this is saying Saturday, the 11th of March, a week from this Saturday.
Right.
So this is. Got Dallas-Fort Worth in the bullseye of 7 to 10 inches of snow. I'll believe it when I see it, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Joe Bastardi and
I will
Weather
say 7 to 10 inches of snow in Dallas. This place still shut down.
Oh, we'll be done. I mean,
you might as well just hang it up. Look for a best of program because there will be nothing open. Stock up on your toilet paper and your milk in DFW because everything's going to be down. I guarantee. In fact, maybe this weekend you put the chains on the tire just in case. Just in case. That's all I'm saying. You want to be safe. You want to think ahead. Because there's nothing like seeing a car driving down the interstate in Dallas with chains on the tire.
What is so wild is that, man, we've already been mowing our lawns here, planting gardens, and now this thing comes up and says, oh, by the way, get ready for 7 to 10
That's
inches.
why I haven't planted anything. That's exactly why I haven't planted anything. I haven't put in new bushes.
You knew this was coming.
I'm not doing it until the weather's passed. Not doing it until the weather's passed. Now, I know the HOA's a little pissed at me.
Oh.
I know they're a little unhappy with Jeff Fisher, but that's the way it goes. That's the weather.
You're like, I'm waiting until this snowstorm's done.
I can't afford 1,000 plants every year.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you know what else we can't afford? To send more money to Ukraine.
Wait, but we are.
I swear.
What are you talking about?
I can't.
We are.
I just can't.
I know they had. We heard from Zelensky the other day where he was talking about us.
If you don't support
joining, he said that it's NATO and you've got to support us, and if you don't support us, then it's over. It's over.
Yeah, and that wasn't the only highlight from that.
Right.
Sit-in.
And the first time I saw this clip, I thought, I don't know if that's real.
Oh,
I don't know if
Oh,
that's
you
real.
thought somebody was just trying to get under our skin?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
no.
know if that's real.
No.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So if it's real, he's claiming. Yeah, well, I'd like to see what Vlad has to say.
Yeah.
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war. And they will have to fight because it's NATO that we're talking about. And they will be dying, God forbid, because it's a horrible thing.
Okay, so that's after though, but he's making his point. If we don't back him now, then.
So this was a continuation of that earlier.
That had to have been.
No,
He's not.
You know this for sure? Like
No.
it's just connected to that?
No, but I'm just.
Okay. Because I haven't seen like an uber long clip that runs it all together.
I missed the entire press conference. Sorry, but that had to have been a continuation from that.
Okay.
Talking about if we don't support now, then the natural outcome will be Russia, all Ukraine, and then we'd have to fight with NATO.
Gotcha.
Then.
And he's saying, okay, got it.
So
Send
support us
stuff
now, or you're going to end up having your children, your boys and girls fighting in this war as well.
Yeah.
It's got to be that. I mean, I don't want.
No, that makes sense.
I don't want to give him too much credit, and I don't want to send him any more money. Enough with the Ukraine money. Enough. I don't want Russia to beat you and take over your country, but enough. I'm willing to take a shot, actually, because if Russia takes over Ukraine, their argument is that if Russia takes over Ukraine, then it's just going to continue on. I mean, this war has been a little bit different than what Putin had anticipated. Mm-hmm. Like Putin was planning on being done with this already, smoking cigars with Biden and Xi over there in China, talking about, we'll help you take Taiwan. Look how easy it was for us to take Ukraine.
And now that's the argument. If we back out of Ukraine, that's going to embolden China to now, okay, I see how this is. We'll just go to Taiwan.
And China is, the word was that they had meetings with Russia, came out of that meeting with, we'll send them some drones. We'll send them some drones, give them a little bit of help. But you guys should really talk some peace. Well, now, and that was their main focus. Now, they haven't sent anything yet, I don't think. But now in Germany, whatever is that Dingleberry's name in Germany is, Scarf or whatever his name is, he's saying, hey, China, get out of Russia, stop talking with them, and let's, if you're going to do anything, talk peace. So, and Germany's number 2 in giving money to Ukraine? All right, that was the list we had the other day. So, I mean, they're going to continue on down this path. And that we had that clip of what's-her-face from Germany saying the same thing that we're saying. It's in perpetuity. We give them money however long it takes. Unbelievable.
Warhawks.
What is happening? What is happening?
It's just amazing to see the Democratic Party just transform overnight from doves to hawks because of their guys in office.
I know.
Strange.
And now everybody's talking about, we're concerned about nukes.
Mm-hmm.
And
if Russia gets desperate enough,
right? And I guess, I mean, that was Hillary's deal, right? Her rant the other day that unless somebody takes him out, he could use these nuclear weapons everywhere. Okay, I mean, I don't know that Putin is that dumb. Maybe he is.
Depends on what his health is, right? Did you see his doctor is dead all of a sudden? I forgot. I don't know if it was his doctor, but it was the female doctor that delivered his 2 children with that one chick. I don't know.
He's got the one chick that he keeps around. He's got the serious business with her, man.
So anyway,
he's got his girlfriend too, because the other one.
Everybody's all dying in Russia. Which, by the way, you know how we were asking the question, why? Did everybody not come back from the pandemic?
Right.
I mean, I don't know what percentage at this point. Maybe it'll change, but what percentage have died suddenly? That maybe that's some of the job openings. I'm just throwing that out there.
I know. I mean, I'm with you.
Again, I don't know what percentage that would affect at this
100%.
I don't know that
It's
that's
pretty close
accurate.
to, okay, 99.
But to your point about the nuclear threat, I mean, maybe it's time to buy those potassium iodine pills just to have them in case? Or you take them for a couple weeks so that it gets that radiation out of your body?
Well, we have,
Stranger things have happened, man.
I know. I mean, it's not out of the question.
No.
I mean, it's definitely not out of the question. And one of the things, remember, I mean, are we going back to the Cold War days of duck and cover?
Oh, yes.
Duck and cover.
Be sure and remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover.
I love it.
Paul and
this
Patty
film
know
is
this.
all about.
No matter where they go or what they do, they always try to remember what to do if the atom bomb explodes right then.
Oh, no.
It's a bomb. Duck
It's a
and
bomb.
cover.
Duck and cover.
Sundays, holidays, vacation time, we must be ready every day,
awesome.
all the time, to do the right thing if the atomic bomb explodes. Duck and cover.
That'll work.
Duck and
Under the
cover.
picnic table.
First, you duck,
Blanket.
and then
I mean, come
duck
on.
and cover.
Can you remember all this?
Duck and cover.
Dude, we did
Under the
that
table.
in the
It's a
80s.
bomb. Duck and cover.
He did what we all must learn to do.
What's that?
You and you and you and you. Duck and cover.
Oh, that one girl
You're going to be safe,
hit her
man.
head.
You are going to be safe.
Duck and cover.
Wow.
You did those, right?
Now, they developed
I did them.
multiple times. And we
Yeah.
had to go out in the hallway for, and then stand along the lockers and everything. And school was agonizing, just agonizing.
Shout of the
If you
80s.
make a left instead of a right, you can catch a smoke out back before the drill is over. Just saying. Not that I would do that. That would be wrong.
How old were you when you started smoking?
10 or 11, maybe something like that.
Wow.
12, maybe something like that.
And
Wasn't any older than 12.
and so you just stopped about what 5-6 years ago?
Now we're looking at coming on 4, I think now,
All
right?
right.
Yeah, 4.
Good for you. So you made it so you went 100 years as a smoker.
Yes, I made it 100 years, and laying on the table after they worked on me from my heart attack. The doctors are going, no more. I want to set you straight on a few things, and I'm going, I got it.
Oh no.
No smoking.
Oh, no.
The whole operation room was laughing.
Set you straight on a
I
few
was
things.
so pissed. I got it. Shut up. You don't be smoking, okay? Stop talking to me right now.
Right, just fix the ticker. Get on with it.
Just tell me what you did, okay? Yeah, it was. Oof.
What they did something recently at the seed vault, right? Like, did we add some seeds up there?
Oh, is that what's in
something?
this after the duck and cover?
Yeah, I
Because we
think-
did. Yes, I did see that. Okay, so we have we got what we should tensions and runs for nukes. Americans are concerned. Oh, you know.
Oh! How you should avoid
Before we
that
get to
thing.
the seed vault,
Yeah.
there was a new poll
Okay.
out that talked about the biggest concerns.
Okay.
People's biggest concerns
Running out of toilet paper.
from the state.
right? We saw
should have
that.
been on the checklist.
We saw that 3 years ago.
Definitely should have been on the checklist. Most people have no idea how they would deal with rising energy prices, job loss, or even less availability to food. Mm-hmm. Okay. In context of inflation making their normal grocery basket unaffordable. I mean, we've already seen people talking about how they've gone from buying brand name to store brand. And then Walmart has already said that they've seen the decline in the amount that people are buying in the store brands. So they've gone from brand name to store brand to less store brand. Okay, so I mean they're already feeling the heat on that, but everything's fine. We got everything under control. Don't you worry.
That's what
about
I
it.
hear.
So the Center Square, after a poll of 2,005 registered voters, found there is more concern about less likely and longer-term issues, climate change, nuclear war, than challenges many are facing, job loss, energy shortage. Well, you can't do anything about that. I mean, are we really concerned about climate change? Have we driven that home so much that people are actually concerned about that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Researchers found that 68% of respondents said they would be at least somewhat worried about a food shortage. I would like to be part of that. I don't want food shortages. I'm not for that. Okay. So to go on the record,
hold on,
100%. I'm on the record.
Of all the fun facts you're going to learn today in these 2 hours, that Jeff Fisher doesn't want a food shortage. Got to be the most shocking fact.
Not want food shortage. No. I cannot have that happen. I cannot have that happen. Want to do some push-ups? Ugh, a freaking guy. 71% said they would worry about international conflicts escalating into nuclear war. Okay. I mean, we've had conflicts going on ever since the Cold War, and nobody's, except us, has dropped a couple. So I don't know that. Plus, if it happens, as I said before, if it happens, me and Bert the turtle, okay, just hit me with it. I don't want to look over there. I don't want to duck and cover next to a wall. I don't want to look. Oh, look at that. So maybe it's going to go right around me. No.
If a bomb does drop on Jeffy, I live far enough away from him that there's we can get to an internal wall or something. We have these. All
right. Well, if it's dropped in your city tomorrow,
okay.
Researchers at the University of Nicosia in Cyprus. I love the University of.
What's Cyprus doing worrying about this?
Cyprus, right? Right there in Cyprus. Okay. Oh, look what's going on over there. Nothing. The researchers calculated how the blast from a nuclear explosion would affect people sheltering indoors, and found that even if you're at a safe distance from the explosion to survive the blast, you may still need may still be in immediate peril. Well, duh. We're still seeing the shadows of people at Nagasaki.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's still there, right? I mean, we're still seeing it's horrible.
Yeah.
And there were only, if I remember that when we dropped our nukes, there's only a few people that survived that, right? One little girl. I can't remember how many people survived, but there was very few. But they did survive.
What kind of radius are you talking about?
But they did survive. The one little girl was in the rubble, man, from our blast. But they said that it is important to understand the impact on humans indoors to provide recommendations for protecting people and assets. For example, we can design structures that offer more protection. Okay. Just don't build in Turkey. You know what I'm saying? Build the buildings here in the U.S. When nuclear bombs detonates, it generates not only radiation in the form of a bright blinding light and scorching heat, we know that, powerful shock waves, tens of miles. It can travel tens of miles. That's what I mean. I don't want to be 20 miles away. I want to be right there. Now, if these shock waves are potentially lethal for people at a safe enough distance from the fireball, no kidding. Now, the team simulated an explosion with a 750 kiloton atomic bomb. Duck and cover. Hiroshima was 15 kilotons and Nagasaki was 25. So 750 kiloton? You better duck and dig. So on average, that's about 37 times smaller than the bomb in the researcher simulation. Yeah, no kidding. The warhead of this magnitude would likely obliterate everything within 2.5 miles. People beyond that radius may stand a chance if they're sheltering in the right location. Well, I mean, the only people that will survive are the people that go to the Manhattan Library in New York. We saw that in the documentary in 2012. I mean, hello. It's already here. Was that 2012? No, that's Day After Tomorrow.
Right.
Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. You mentioned us dropping the bombs in Japan, and I can't remember which of the cities it was, if it was Hiroshima or Nagasaki, but one of them had a, this is ironic, one was chosen because they had a church steeple that was an easy target to be able to see from above. Right. And I forgot which of the two cities it was, had a thriving Christian population in Japan that, of course, was literally nuked by us because they had such the high, they had a high point, the steeple. I mean,
we told them that we were coming. Well, what more do you want from us? We told them we were coming. We told them, look, get out, All right, get out because we're coming. Should have listened.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. If you're walking in your backyard and a leaflet falls down and says, a nuclear bomb is going to be coming tomorrow at 3, you should probably leave. I'm probably going to pack up.
Yeah. Where you headed?
Well, first of all, I'm going to check Twitter, see if it's actually true.
Dude, hold on. Hold that thought. I swear, when there is an issue with like NFL Sunday Ticket or something like that, I always want to know, is this just me or is somebody else got that issue? That's the first thing I do is check Twitter as a fact
of course
check.
It is. That's what you do. This is 2023. You have to.
Am I the only one with this leaflet?
So they reported that narrow pockets inside buildings like doorways and hallways could act like a wind tunnel.
Oh.
So you should not duck and cover in the hallway, man. That video is wrong.
Well, what if the wind's coming from the other side of the wall? I guess those kids are okay. But if it comes from the other one, they're screwed.
So many jokes, so many wind jokes. I'm just letting them go. So the dangerous pressures of up to 18 times a human's body. Oh, yeah, it's gonna crush your bones.
Gosh.
No. So the most dangerous critical indoor locations to avoid are windows, corridors, and doors. Well,
like a tornado.
That's hurricanes, tornadoes, absolutely. The best location is in the half of the building farthest from the blast.
Well, thank you for that safety tip.
It does seem like common sense, all right?
Okay, so here's what you're going to want to do.
I tell you, while you're moving away, I'm moving toward it. Okay, that's just me. I'm not telling you have to come with me, but I'm moving toward it.
Get behind me. You can protect a lot of people, Jeffy.
It's also worth noting that the building itself is important. You don't want to take cover in a log cabin. Thank you. So this really didn't teach us anything. This whole study didn't teach us anything we already knew.
Hold on, that's a safety tip. Don't get in a log cabin, y'all.
I don't get a log cabin. It's not good. It's not the best place to be. I want to be on the other side of the building. No kidding.
I don't think it's worth reading the whole thing here, but I guess they've been adding some seeds to that seed vault up in Norway, wherever it is. I don't know. So that's good. There you go. In case, something bad happens, we're going to be able to replant, apparently.
Well, if there's people that can get in there.
If there's soil that isn't, ask Ohio how their soil's doing. What is this?
Nothing. They're cleaning it up.
Yeah.
They're
sending it to us.
They're cleaning it up.
They're sending it to us.
Why are you?
By the way, Governor DeWine's wife, you remember how Pete Buttigieg was walking down the street and that reporter was talking to him and he's like, "Can I take your picture?" Because he wanted to know who was, and I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this, but the governor's.
I don't remember. Can I take your picture? What
well,
was
we
that
didn't
about?
Play the clip, but Pete Buttigieg was walking down the street in Washington,
I remember a lot
DC,
of those clips. Okay,
and he said, what did he say? I don't know. It was before he went there.
Okay,
and she was asking him, "Hey, you gonna go?" And he's like, "I'm trying to take some personal time here." He was walking down the street or whatever. Okay. Anyway. And he goes, let me take your picture. And so Pete Buttigieg took this reporter's picture.
Oh, okay.
Well, yesterday when Governor DeWine was in Ohio, in East Palestine, surveying the damage, getting an update, his wife was taking pictures of reporters. They were asking questions. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird.
I mean, it is kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's a public place, and it's the same argument that can be made for... Van Jones's group that used to follow cops around and I'm on a public space,
Right, and we're taking pictures of you. It just doesn't.
It's just weird.
It's weird.
It's fine, but it's weird.
Right. Right. And it comes across as we're going to get you.
Yeah.
As a public official.
Right.
And it's. I guess it's okay. I mean, you're there, right? You're in the public square. You're getting your picture taken.
I mean, you got to assume, especially with us living in New York, you know that literally every step you make on the road,
I
on the
assume
sidewalk,
any place outside of
recorded.
my space in my home, and there's a few places in there I wouldn't be, but you're being filmed.
Yeah,
you're being filmed.
You got to assume that now, right?
You have to. And when you find a place that you aren't being filmed, then now you can look around and see what you can do.
That's that's
that, and maybe deep pocket a few things, but that's only. I mean, I'm not saying to do that.
So not where I was going with any of this.
All right. 888-900-3393 is the phone number. Welcome to the broadcast. Jeff Fisher from Chewing the Fat, a daily podcast that you can subscribe to on any platform that warms the little innards of your soul. I've had a number of questions this week on looking for my podcast on Blaze TV. It's not on Blaze TV. Okay? It's just Blaze Podcast. Okay? It's just podcast. This is the only show that allows me on camera. All right? This show. The rest of the shows, they don't let me on. So,
ouch. Oh, no.
Well, that's what happens. I
don't know what that means. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
That's what happens when what?
When they don't let you on, only one show lets you on, you end up getting just a podcast. The Blaze Podcast, Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. Let's go to the blaze.com podcast. Okay? You can also tweet the show at Pat Unleashed, or you can tweet me too at JeffyJFR or at Keith
Malinak.
Thank you.
I mean, good luck spelling it. I don't know that.
Kieth. I don't know why it's so difficult. Sarah the Roamer tweeted us. Good thing that guy at the picnic had a newspaper, or else he would have died from the. No kidding.
That newspaper will stop anything.
That's a 1950s newspaper too, man. That baby's got some ink on it.
Yeah,
that's gonna save you. Okay. Cyber Gypsy, did anyone really feel safe when we ducked and covered? My desk couldn't even hold my books without falling over. That was supposed to protect me from an atom bomb. I also remember going in the hallway at school. And I will say this as well, for the duck and cover under the desk.
How big of a desk?
Not really fat guy seating.
Yeah, how big of a desk did you have, you know?
Okay, so. Oh, look, half your body survived. Thanks. Appreciate it. Lumbee IT department. I would say I can't believe Americans fell for duck and cover, but looking at everything we fell for during COVID, duck and cover is mild.
Yeah, Mr.
Sean's just selling it. Man.
Yeah, he said that was the masks of the 50s, 60s, 70s. Yeah.
Joe McKay, nuclear, not nuclear. Okay, I mean I probably did both. So.
Asphalt or asphalt?
Asphalt. Everybody knows that. I don't know why that's a question.
If you missed overtime earlier this week, we had a discussion about how Jeffy pronounces asphalt.
The correct way. Carl Smith, they should update the duck and cover video to reflect what little girls should do when approached by the president.
Oh, run. Run and run is the thing.
That's almost not funny. Almost not funny. So we had a big hearing with Merrick Garland yesterday, right? It took place yesterday, and I saw a couple of small clips with this. I didn't see this clip with Mike Lee.
So these are going to escalate in intensity as we go along.
Okay, so we'll escalate. So it's the House Judiciary Committee, and it's Mike Lee, and then we have
Josh Hawley,
and into Ted Cruz. I saw some of the Ted Cruz stuff. Yeah. That seemed to think that Merrick Garland doesn't like him much.
Yeah, the microphones present there get quite the workout as we continue on the path of these clips.
Okay, so and they're talking to Garland.
Yeah.
About his,
multiple things.
Right. I mean, his duty as Attorney General and what he's neglected to do as Attorney General.
One of the biggest topics was the Catholic dad who showed up in front of a abortion clinic.
Right.
And then was instigated upon, if that's proper phrasing. You know, he was just standing there, quite frankly, and defending his son there. But he didn't throw a punch or anything stupid like that. You know, he just... Whatever. This is a thing that the FBI took and made into a thing where they sent an entire team. I think 15 cars showed up and they dragged him away. Remember, he won in court. This got dismissed or something.
Good.
Yeah. So anyhow, it was the stupidest thing. It's the biggest government overreach and intimidation thing. And so that's one of the topics that was discussed.
And it's so incredible to me that, we've multiple stories of people saying, well, we were telling them, and I think this guy was one of them that was talking about, we were in talks with them, and I told them we were going to come in. And his attorney was like, yeah, we'll come in. We'd already had talks with them. nope, we're just going to send in the Marines, not really the Marines, but send in the DOJ
Equally
and the
armed.
FBI. Yeah,
Equally
no kidding,
armed, yeah.
and take you out and embarrass you in front of everyone in your neighborhood.
But I mean, they covered everything from the Hawk family to the lack of any kind of security for Justice Kavanaugh.
Right.
Anything after the fact, there was no charges from that. They talked about the border. They covered it all. But
Okay,
like I said,
so
we just pulled a few clips from yesterday.
Mike Lee, who is back on Twitter, I believe Elon said it was a mistake. We didn't mean to shut you down, Mike. Sorry about that. It was a completely mistake. We thought it was a parody account, Mike.
Based Mike Lee?
Yeah. We thought it was a parody account, so we shut you down. But it's okay. You're back now. Good.
Yeah,
Sorry about it. Anyway, go ahead, Mike Lee.
DOJ has announced charges against 34 individuals for blocking access to or vandalizing abortion clinics. And there have been over 81 reported attacks on pregnancy centers, 130 attacks on Catholic churches since the leak of the Dobbs decision, and only 2 individuals have been charged. So how do you explain this disparity by reference to anything other than politicization of what's happening there?
The FACE Act applies equally to efforts to damage, blockade, clinics, whether pregnant resource, whether they are a pregnancy resource center or whether they are an abortion center. It applies equally in both cases, and we apply the law equally. I will say you're quite right. There are many more prosecutions with respect to the blocking of the abortion centers, but that is generally because those actions are taken with photography at the time, during the daylight, and seeing the person who did it is quite easy. Those who are attacking the pregnancy resources centers, which is a horrid thing to do, are doing this at night in the dark. We have put full resources on this. We have put rewards out for this. The Justice Department and the FBI have made outreach to Catholic and other organizations to ask for their help in identifying the people who are doing this.
Because
we will prosecute every case against a pregnancy resource center that we can make. But these people who are doing this are clever and are doing it in secret. And I'm convinced that the FBI is trying to find them with urgency.
He's convinced.
With urgency.
Yeah.
They're trying to find him with urgency.
But look.
So shut up.
Senator, if they're going to do bad things at night, our hands are tied.
We can't.
I mean, we just don't know how to enforce the law at night.
The ones that we took care of, they were daytime. We had pictures. It was light out. We knew what was going on. And those ones at night, though, what are you going to do? Can't see them.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? We can't see them. We looked around. We told them, did you see something? No? Okay. We moved on. These freaking people, man.
It gets worse, though.
All right, Josh Hawley, what do you got for me?
I notice a pattern, though. The FBI field office in Richmond on the 23rd of January of this year issued a memorandum in which they advocated for, and I quote, the exploration of new avenues for tripwire and source development against traditionalist Catholics, it's their language, including those who favor the Latin Mass.
Wow.
Attorney General, are you cultivating sources and spies in Latin Mass parishes and other Catholic parishes around the country?
No, the Justice Department does not do that. It does not do investigations based on religion. I saw the document you have.
What did you do about
it? It's appalling.
What did you do about it?
I'm in complete agreement with you. I understand that the FBI has withdrawn it and is now looking into how this could ever have happened.
How did it happen?
That's what they're looking into, but I'm totally in agreement
5
with you.
weeks.
That
We don't know who wrote the memo?
I'll tell you how it happened. This memorandum, which is supposed to be intelligent, cites extensively the Southern Poverty Law Center, which goes on to identify all of these different Catholics as being part of hate groups. Is this how the FBI, under your direction and leadership, is this how they do their intelligence work? They look at left-wing advocacy groups to target Catholics? Is this what's going on? I mean, clearly it is. How is this happening?
The FBI is not targeting Catholics, and as I've said, this is an inappropriate memorandum, and it doesn't reflect the methods that the FBI is supposed to be using. It should not be relying on any single organization without doing its own work.
Let me just ask you, as my time expires here, a very direct question. How many informants do you have in Catholic churches across America?
How many?
I don't know, and I don't believe we have any informants aimed at Catholic churches. We have a rule against investigations based on First Amendment activity, and Catholic churches are obviously First Amendment activity. Well, but I don't know the specific answer to your question.
You don't know the specifics of anything, it seems, but apparently on your watch, this Justice Department is targeting Catholics, targeting people of faith, specifically for their faith views. And Mr. Attorney General, I'll just say to you, it's a disgrace.
Well, he did say it was a disgrace, too, in Merrick's defense.
And nothing will change.
I don't want to defend Merrick Garland, but I mean, he did say that, and he said how horrific it was. In fact, I believe it was appalling to Merrick. And what are you going to do if they were at church, if they were at mass, and it was nighttime? What are you going to do?
See what can
we couldn't see.
What can you do?
And then we have Ted Cruz.
Okay.
I love how they all have their. We can get to Ted. I know we're up against the clock, but we can get to. I love how they all have their props now.
Yes, they do.
Every one of them brings their props now. I love it. It's like their own personal.
I think Ted had the statute that shows that something should have been done, especially after Justice Kavanaugh's attacker happened.
I sent 70 United States Marshals.
Let me try again. Has the Department of Justice brought even a single case under this statute? It's a yes, no question. It's not a give a speech on the other things you did.
The job of the United States Marshals is to defend the lives
So the answer is no.
Is to defend the lives of the justices, and that's our number one priority. They have.
Why are you unwilling to say no? The answer is no. You know it's no. I know it's no. Everyone in this hearing room knows it's no. You're not willing to answer a question. Have you brought a case under this statute? Yes or no?
As far as I know, we haven't, and what we have done is defended the lives of the justices with over 70 U.S. Marshals.
How do you decide which criminal statutes the DOJ enforces and which one it doesn't?
The United States Marshals know that they have full authority.
I recognize you want to give a separate speech.
No, I don't want to.
How do you decide which statutes you enforce and which ones you don't?
The Marshals on scene make that determination in light of the priority of defense.
The Marshals do not make a determination over whether to prosecute. You, the Attorney General, make a determination. And you spent 20 years as a judge, and you're perfectly content with justices being afraid for their children's lives, and you did nothing to prosecute it. Let's shift to another area.
Can I answer the question?
No, you cannot. You have refused to answer the question.
I am answering your question. The Attorney General does not decide whether to arrest.
How did you choose not to enforce this statute?
The Marshals on scene.
Marshals don't make that decision.
They do make the decision of whether to make an arrest.
Prosecute someone? No, they don't.
If they make
Marshals do not have prosecution.
If they make an arrest, then it goes to the Marshals.
Let's change topics because our time is limited.
And I'm not happy with you. Okay, it's just one frustration after another with this guy.
No question. Now you have two clips here.
Yeah. Let's play the other one. Let's play the next Ted Cruz here. Yeah, this one.
We've also seen across the country violent attacks to pregnancy centers by similar left-wing terrorist groups, including one graffiti of a firebomb building said Jane was here.
Picture? Thank you. Okay.
There have been attacks all over the country. And yet, the Department of Justice has not brought these violent criminals to justice. You contrast that. If you're a violent criminal and you attack a crisis pregnancy center, that is not a priority in the Biden Department of Justice. Contrast that to Mark Houck, who's a pro-life activist. He's a sidewalk counselor. And
damn sidewalk counselor.
He had an altercation with someone who allegedly interfered with his son's personal space and threatened his son, and he pushed him. Now, in an ordinary world, pushing someone would be maybe a simple misdemeanor assault, but not under the Biden Department of Justice. If you're a pro-life activist, what can you expect? Well, in this instance,
okay, good.
According to Mr. Houck's wife, 24 agents clad in body armor and ballistic helmets and shields and a battering ram showed up at his house pointing rifles at his family. Why do you send 24 agents in body armor to arrest a sidewalk counselor who happens to be pro-life, but you don't devote resources to prosecute people who are violently firebombing crisis pregnancies?
It is a priority of the department to prosecute and investigate and find the people who are doing those firebombings. They are doing it at night and in secret. And we have found one group which we did prosecute.
You found one. How many have there been? How many attacks?
There have been a lot. And if you have any information specifically as to who those people are, we would be glad. We would be glad to have that.
Did you personally authorize 20 agents going to Mr. Houck's house? And he offered to turn himself in through counsel, but you didn't want that. The Department of Justice wanted to make a show of it. Did you personally authorize it? And do you want to apologize to Mrs. Houck and her 7 children for being terrorized?
The decisions about how to do that are made at the level of the FBI agents on scene.
Did you know about it?
Did you know about it?
I did not know about it until the way you're describing it. And my understanding is the FBI disagrees with that description.
What does that mean? I didn't know about the way you're describing it, and the FBI disagrees with that description. So you did know about it, but what, you just didn't know there was going to be a battering ram?
And you didn't know that there was, he's saying that the FBI, what he's dancing around is the FBI told him that they were going to go arrest him.
Uh-huh.
Period.
You think that's what okay, sure.
The FBI
Without
told
a battering
and he okayed it. And he okayed. The FBI said we were going to go arrest him. He said, and he had to have okayed it. And so then the FBI, he's throwing them under the bus by saying, I didn't know that they were going to send a whole SWAT team out with the battering ram and the guns.
I'm ready for the Southern Poverty Law Center to label the FBI as a terrorist organization, domestic terrorist organization.
I do have a question, though. I know this is just me chewing the fat, Jeff Fisher.
Okay.
How much money are we spending on these pictures that our senators are using at these hearings? I mean, okay. I mean, I got it. That can't be cheap. It's not cheap making those huge posters. So, I mean, is that coming out? Is Ted footing the bill for that? Is Josh Hawley footing the bill for that?
His staff gets a budget, you know?
Which means we're footing the bill for that.
Absolutely.
So we need to tone down the pictures a little bit. Okay. I don't need to have the backdrop. All right, I got what you're saying.
Just tell C-SPAN to zoom in a little bit more, and then you don't need the big picture.
I got what you're saying.
Can I just say that I would not want to be like Ted Cruz's kid, like if you do something bad as a teenager, and then you know you're in trouble. You know you're busted when Ted Cruz, your dad, goes, let me ask you something. You're like, oh, crap. He knows what I was doing last night.
Honey, get in here and bring that poster.
Is this you?
Is this you? Well, you can't see. It's nighttime, Dad. Sorry. You don't even know it's me.
Let me ask you something. Were you toilet papering Mr. Wilson's front yard?
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the broadcast. Jeff Fisher in for Pat Gray, who is on vacation out gallivanting the countryside. Keith Malinak is here. All the Dingles are here, bringing you entertainment like you've never had before on Blaze TV and Blaze Radio Network. You're welcome.
Looks like Dingles is really starting to get some traction on Twitter among the Pat heads.
Well,
so,
you're welcome. I mean, what I got to do? 888-900-3393 is the phone number. You can tweet the show at Pat Unleashed. We have Twitter correspondence from Caffeinated Texan. At Jeffy JFR is my bomb shelter. What does that mean?
Oh, okay. So what
does that mean?
What's her name? It's
Caffeinated Texan.
Caffeinated Texan. Okay.
What does that mean?
What Caffeinated Texan is saying is that you're overweight and that you provide
it's a fat
shelter.
Joke.
It is a fat joke.
Okay, all right. Tamara B, if a cloth mask protects us from a virus, then surely a newspaper would protect us from a nuclear virus. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Plus, as I said, those were in the 50s. Those were newspapers, man. That was real newspaper then. Mm-hmm. Putting on a Ritz, the duck and cover seems a lot like the airline brace position. Both appear to be the fastest way to die in those situations. No doubt about it. And plus, we've seen in plenty of airline documentaries where people who survive crashes have the seatbelt on and are sitting back with their feet up on the seats. Right? If you bend down, those seats all smash together, dead.
Or if you jump
So you're
right
right.
before it hits the ground. I hear that works too.
You can give that a shot. Sure, no problem. KJP's super book of questions and answers. First of all, it's the great big book of everything. Okay. Jeffy, I'm also from Michigan. The proper pronunciation of asphalt.
No.
He has it spelled wrong. ASPHALT.
Yeah, asphalt.
Is blacktop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to call it blacktop. My mom used to call it tarvy. They're going to tarvy the road. Yeah, well, in Tuscola County, yeah, they're going to tarvy the back road today.
I've never heard that. Tarvy.
I don't know why they would call it tarvy, but she used to call it tarvy all the time.
Okay.
You know, instead of asphalt. Sweeter yams, Garland can't find criminals who operate at night. Explains why they can't find the D.C. pipe bomber. Hello. Yeah. Oh, it's Darko. Do you have any information?
Oh, really?
Shut up. Sons of Thunder 42. That's why you never see Batman in the daytime. Right? Right?
Oh, good call.
Merrick Garland saying and 19 times in every answer sure doesn't convince me of his honesty. You are right, Robert Gray.
Like, whatever, and like, or whatever, like, just like.
Was that Merrick?
Yeah, that was Merrick.
Skip Willis says, looks to me like Garland is still pissy he didn't get the SCOTUS appointment. Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, he thinks about that all the time.
Heck yeah, he is. And he's such a douche. I'm just kidding, though. Don't sign off on a guy coming to my house.
With a battering ram.
I don't need 3 SWAT vans in front of my home because my address is Irving, Texas. Mercury Studios is where I live. That's where, if you need me, you come here.
And the best time to catch Jeffy is in the evening.
Right. At night.
Yeah.
At night, I'm here just wandering around.
Shoot, it's dark at night, so never mind. Scratch that, y'all. Okay, this is stunning. This is stunning stuff.
The mayor of the fine city of New York, here in the United States of America, Eric Adams, spoke at a spiritual event.
Yeah, I forget what it was here, but and he. It's interesting. I have said that the man is running for president based just on his going to the border, so that he could say, "Look, I've been to the border."
Eric Adams.
Eric Adams. Yeah, I think so. And I think after watching this, I think even more so. I'm not trying to say this isn't genuine. I'm simply saying the man's running for president in 2024.
Okay,
here we go.
If we are bringing our best fight in the ring, we would not have homeless in this city. We would not have a crisis of domestic violence. We would not have children, because when we took prayers out of schools, guns came into schools.
Wait, hold on. Whoa, a Democrat?
Yeah, that's right, Eric.
Okay, so it's only just beginning.
Holy cow.
This is only buckle up, Jeff Fisher. Fat guy seating.
Holy
Get that
cow.
extra belt. Okay, it's an
extender.
Extender. Get that extra extender. Because that just scratches the surface. He dropped a whole lot of God on the audience there.
All right.
Yeah.
We are destroying our next generation. Destroying them. And we say over and over again, we need to build a world that's better for our children. No, we need to build children that's better for our world.
Wow.
And we have to be honest about that. And it means instilling in them some level of faith and belief. Ingrid was so right. Don't tell me about no separation of church and state. State is the body, church is the heart. You take the heart out of the body dies.
What is happening?
I can't separate my belief because I'm an elected official. When I walk with God. When I talk with God. When I put policies in place, I put them in with a God-like approach to them. That's who I am. And I was that when I was that third grader, and I'm going to be that when I leave government. I am still a child of God and will always be a child of God, and I want to apologize about being a child of God. It is not going to happen. enough for that. That is what has happened. We need to be that every day.
Amen.
And watching Pastor Rodriguez, you can just watch her and see God. And we need to ask ourselves, do people see God in us?
There we go. There's
wow.
There is the Republican mayor. No, that's right. That's a Democrat mayor
of New York City.
New York.
Did anybody ask him about?
I eat a plant-based centered life.
Anybody ask him about that? I mean, is that? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I don't know that that came up yesterday.
Oh, okay.
That was at the annual Interfaith Breakfast in Manhattan. And so usually when you get a Politico up there, whether right or left, it's pretty vanilla, right? It's just kind of,
I don't know that Eric. I mean, crime is still pretty bad in the city of New York,
and they're still killing babies up there, right?
But he can blame a lot of that on the governors. The governor's issues and governor's laws. So, I mean, he can come out of that maybe clean because he said, he's a former cop, which, bodes well. I mean, is he going to go up against California's boy for president?
I don't know.
And that's a tough run, man. It's not a bad call, though.
Yeah.
It's not a bad call. And talking like that, holy
He's
cow.
trying to bring in some votes
kidding.
from the right and the center.
And he'll continue to talk like that. He'll get them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Again, I don't want to say he was being insincere. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, wow, that sure was bold to be saying that and being the mayor of New York and a Democrat. So
I know. And we know he's healthy because he eats well. Mm-hmm. We know he's healthy.
Yeah, I eat a plant-based centered life.
It wasn't quite worth it, was it? In hindsight? Martin's in there playing like Magic Squares or something.
I know. He's doing a Twitch live stream in there.
Sudoku.
The other dingles. Don't worry about this show. You do your own Twitch live stream. You're fine. You're fine. So yesterday,
there for a second.
Yesterday, KJP was asked about TikTok. I mean, we're blocking TikTok. We talked a little bit about this the other day, what they're doing in the government. And now TikTok has said that they're going to. And I love the plan of they're going to limit the time. Is this? And I'm sure they're talking about the blocking with KJP. But TikTok has said they're going to limit the time of under 18-year-olds on their app.
Congress wants to do something.
No, TikTok said it's going to do it.
Oh, is that right?
But they said we're going to limit the time on 18. If you spend so much time on it during the day, you get a little prompt. Hey. You spent this much time on TikTok. Mm-hmm. You want to go someplace else? Yeah. And they're going to make you jump through a couple of hoops to say no to that. And so they're not really blocking you. Although they did say that they're going to have some family plan where you're able, as a parent, to go in and disable some of the time limits and stuff like that. So, I mean, they're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying, no question. So anyway.
They feel the heat. Yeah, and to answer your question, I can't recall the specific question. I only recall the answer being completely incoherent.
From KJP?
Yeah, watch this.
The House does not use TikTok, but we do believe that Congress took action, and so therefore clearly they took action and put this into law, and clearly we're taking those steps as it relates to the federal government.
Okay, got it. Did you get on that?
No.
And by the way, Congress hasn't done anything yet.
No.
Which is just
She's
an extra
just
layer.
Terrible.
Just an extra layer.
We know she knows the questions are coming. She's got her great big book of everything, and she still can't do it.
So one thing that I have noticed since this train derailment that she cannot say is Norfolk Southern.
Really?
It's very simple. And I've just kind of snickered whenever.
Is it like asphalt or is it something else?
No, here it is.
Okay.
Right here it is.
Yeah, you've heard from Secretary Buttigieg. You've heard from the EPA administrator speak to how we're going to hold Norfolk, Suffolk accountable.
Constantly. She's constantly saying
Suffolk accountable.
Norfolk, Suffolk. Constantly. That's what she does. Okay.
That's incredible.
So I've noticed that, but I've just not brought it up until today. After that clip yesterday, because Pat Head Benjamin Flensborg sent us something from what was the place? I think don't run, walk, or don't walk, run. Don't walk, run. Thank you.
Yeah, don't walk,
okay.
run.
So he's noticed something that I have not picked up on, and it's a 10-minute video. You're only going to play 3 minutes worth here, where there are 13 occasions, and again, I don't know that they're all in this shorter clip, of her saying this phrase completely wrong. It is so bad, yet his presentation is so hysterical. You got to see this, man.
This is Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary. As an unfortunate part of my job, I have to sit through what is known as the White House Daily Briefing. And when you watch something over and over again, you tend to notice things. For example, if you watch Joe Biden's speeches, and why would you may have heard the following.
So my dad would say, all I'm looking for, Joey, is just a little breathing room at the end of the month. It's a little breathing room. Have a little bit left over after I paid all my bills.
Yeah, we've heard
Since the beginning of Joe Biden's residency, we've seen record high gas prices, record high credit card debt, record high inflation, real wages decimated by that inflation, and record high household debt. Yeah, breathing room my ass. Anyway, part of the press secretary's job is to push Joe Biden's agenda and repeat his BS talking points. And if Biden wants to talk about breathing room, then Karine has to talk about it too. And what I've noticed is that Karine is really bad at her job.
Thank you. Welcome.
We're looking for a plan. This is a plan that the president put forward to move things forward, right? To continue to help Americans who need a little bit of a breathing room, as you hear the president speak to.
Wait, does Karine think that there's a physical place called a breathing room?
Now, you've often heard the president talk about giving families a breathing room, as we say, as the president says, a little bit more of a breathing room.
Oh my God, she thinks it's a place. But whatever, that's fine. It's not like she says it all the time or anything.
Giving the American people a little bit more of a breathing room. Giving American middle-class Americans a little bit of a breathing room. A little bit of a breathing room. A little bit more of a breathing room. The American people really, truly need a little bit of a breathing room. He wants to make sure that he's giving American families a little bit more of a breathing room.
A little bit more of a breathing room. Got it. And notice that Karine is reading this line from her binder.
Absolutely.
So either A, she can't read, or B, it's actually written down that way. And there's a case to be made that it's B, because she says this line all the time.
This is another way to make sure that we are giving Americans a little bit more of a breathing room. He wanted to make sure that the American people, as he says, has a little bit of a breathing room. Right, to make sure that the American people are not are being given a little bit more of a breathing room. What we're trying to do, what the president is trying to do for the middle class, again, give them a little bit of a breathing room. Give them a little bit more of a breathing room.
Now, I've had some time to consider the possibility that Karine's not wrong here. I mean, maybe Biden wants to give everyone a breathing room, and he's the one that's just not saying it right.
You know, my dad used to say every family needs a little bit of breathing room.
My dad used to say every family needs a little bit of breathing room.
81 million votes, guys.
14.
I mean, she is
14 times she said
terrible.
A breathing room.
Just terrible.
But boy, that's so good.
I'll tell you one thing. I wish that the people working on the doors in this room would get it fixed so that we could have a little bit of a breathing room. I'll tell you that.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Really in demand anymore. That being said, they have experience. You know, they can bring some experience to the table, and you know, you can make an argument. Hey, you put them in there, and they'll help some of your younger players and bring some stability to your organization. But it's you're not necessarily super excited about it. And then you have the next tier, which is the top guys.
Stu Does America on Blaze Radio Network.
Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are found.
The Chad Prather Show.
Like they say, blacks can't be racist, right? Because they're the minority. Until something like this Tyree thing happens, and then they accuse those black cops of being engaging in white supremacy. So you can be racist against your own race if you're black, but you can't be racist if you're black and you have something to say about somebody with a lighter skin color.
The Chad Prather Show on the Blaze Radio Network.
Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are found.
Welcome to Pat Gray Unleashed program. Jeff Fisher filling in for Pat today as he's out gallivanting the countryside. I will say I was really very impressed. I didn't realize how inclusive this administration is, the Joe Biden presidency and his administration.
Yeah,
because they claim to be, they want to be the most inclusive administration ever. They have now, we actually have a chair that's in charge of the NTSB.
What now?
I know. I was looking up at the screen, and the person, it's not a person, I'm sorry, the chair, the piece of furniture that's in charge of the NTSB, they've given a name, Jennifer Homedy. And according to the story, I mean, that's the fifth runaway incursion. There's been 5 runaway incursions this year as far as trains. That's okay. It's happening. But I didn't realize that we had a chair in charge of the NTSB. No, we don't have a chairperson, not a chairman.
It just
not a chairwoman,
feels like
a chair.
Rail industry was not happy with the way things shook out at the end of last year with the negotiations and them wanting to strike and stuff like that. And you
can make the case.
I'm
Absolutely.
just throwing that out there.
Now, I know, but we're not, look, we just had that passenger train and a cargo train collide in Greece, killing a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Dozens of people. That's, we haven't had anything like that. There's just trains falling off the track, that's all.
Yeah.
Just trains falling off the track.
Well, the dingles are loud this morning down the hall, aren't they?
Well, they're excited about the chair that's in charge of the NTSB. Perhaps if we got a real human, maybe something would get done.
Or if we had a door. If we had a door there.
Well, we can't expect that. I told him to stop working on it this morning. And I'd like my own breathing room. That's such a great call. That's such a great call because she's just terrible.
Yeah, I tweeted that out yesterday. I'll have Pat Unleashed tweet that out if you want to look for that in its entirety.
Speaking of Twitter, at Pat Unleashed, from Toby's account, I guess it's Toby account, TOBYS account. What I learned on Pat Unleashed this morning, the FBI can't arrest you at night because they can't see you.
All right. That's when you got to do all your...
That's because we left all our night vision glasses in Afghanistan.
Thank you.
No, we're supposed to forget about that. Sorry. Sorry. We probably sent the rest of them to Ukraine, so they don't have them. From Bovine Jeffy lives in a palace scatology. I don't, though. I don't. Because was that over the bathroom deal?
Oh, yeah, your palace bathroom. Yeah. That's right, yeah. That's a big bathroom.
Doesn't everybody have a couple of sinks and a water closet? I mean, what?
Didn't you say it was like twice the size of this room?
I do not have a breathing room. Change
the subject.
Well, if you put the water closet there, the sink, the shower. So yeah, it probably is about this big. No, so what? That's not very big at all.
I thought you said twice as big as this.
Well, I didn't cut the closet.
Okay, whatever. What else we got?
Anyway, I'd like to note that the FBI was able to submit footage of the Kyle Rittenhouse saga from a flying aircraft at night. But fire bombings of the pro-life pregnancy centers are hard because it's dark at night. Right. Well, facts are facts. Unapologetic white chick.
Wow, you went Joe Biden there.
I apologize. A nurse came and blew in my ear, brought me a pillow. 30 by 30 posters can run fairly cheap to several $100, but the government has their own printing facilities. I'd like to know what they do with them afterwards.
Yeah,
I know. They come pretty cheap? I don't think so. I think
got to be a wall somewhere with just those poster boards on it.
Right.
And it's just like you put them on display somewhere. All right, so this was the Merrick Garland hearing from March 1st, 2023.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah.
Maybe we reuse them. Maybe we just flip them over.
Sure we do.
Sure.
Not the federal government.
Absolutely. Jeremy Denzlinger. Is this guy, Mayor Adams, a dino? He sounds like a conservative Christian to me, but does he actually mean it? I think he does mean it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does. I buy that.
Yep.
I'm sure that he was raised that way. But when he talks about using that in the way he governs and makes laws, and I feel like we go astray there a little bit.
Yeah. And plus, if the Democrats find out that he actually does that, applies, his principles in the office, woo.
And talking about church being the heart of the state, holy cow.
You better watch out.
None of that.
Yeah.
I know. Eric Adams trying to turn New York back to God. Whoa. Never mind World War III after the transifying of our kids. This is a sign of the end times, says Jimmy Dimples. Yeah, no kidding. Oof. Tom Nichols Sr., TikTok needs only 2 seconds per day to download the data they want from the phone. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And they'll get that. No problem. Plus, that's the whole thing where they make it seem like it's such a good thing that they're doing they got to limit their time. They just get prompted with a question. They'll get pissed because, yes, of course I want to be on here. Because that's like watching when you leave it on Netflix for so long and then it comes up and asks you, are you still watching this?
Oh, yes.
Yes!
Life gets a little busy.
Now I've got to walk all the way over to the sofa to get my remote to click it before you shut it off.
I know. I
hate that.
I hate it. By the way, a follow-up to your El Salvador prison stuff. You know how yesterday we had the big prison roundup and they were just showing.
Yeah.
He was
with the two big gangs.
Yeah.
There's like 40,000 gang members in El Salvador. He's already rounded up over 2,000 of them.
So get this. When that guy took office, I can never remember his name. And I don't.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Bill's in charge of El Salvador.
When Bitcoin Bill took over for El Salvador, the homicide rate per 100,000 was 50. 50 people in El Salvador.
Doesn't sound like that many people got killed in El Salvador. Oh, per 100,000.
Now it's down to 7 per 100,000.
Wow.
Which is very close to the United States. And probably it's better than blue cities, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're the ones that bring our rate up.
And we had the study this week where only 50% of the homicides are getting solved, right? So, I mean, if you were thinking about maybe taking somebody out,
this is
now might be the time.
This is good because he is locking
50-50.
up people that potentially could come up here and cross our border illegally.
I mean, probably already have.
Oh,
so
without
many
question,
of them already have.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, maybe that's why the murder rate is down so much in El Salvador, because now they're up here adding to our murder rate.
Well, thank you.
And it evened out.
Thank
look,
you
we
for
got
that.
there.
Thank you for
we
that.
We brought equity
Appreciate
to the planet.
That's great.
Ugh. Huh. Wait, is that must-see TV?
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm putting it in my phone right now. I just realized tonight.
Yeah.
At 9 Eastern.
9 Eastern.
CNN prime time.
Okay. What?
Jill Biden abroad. I mean, who's not watching that?
That's the name of the show?
Jill Biden abroad. And I thought, well, we already know she's abroad.
I was going to say, yeah. How many words are we talking about?
Jill Biden abroad. We know. I guess she's identifying as abroad now.
4 words. Joe Biden abroad. Not watching that CNN.
Oh, man.
Although, I bet there's some good stuff for the show.
There's going to be some good stuff, and there's going to be some agonizing stuff for the show, no question. Because they already, CNN obviously is promoting Jill Biden abroad, and I think that Joe Biden is great at seeing both sides. Is he, Jill? Ugh, just agonizing. But we may have some actual good clips from the CNN prime time.
If y'all watch
Jill Biden abroad,
send them to us. Keith Malinak at Jeffrey JFR.
You're not going to catch it?
I've got stuff going on. It's a busy day.
It's only 9 p.m. It's 8 p.m. our time. We're good. Plenty of time.
I got
plenty of time.
My calendar is
There's no Thursday night NFL game anymore.
I know, but
Very
I think I'm not watching that.
I really miss the NFL and college football season. And I know there's XFL. Is the USFL started up again too, or it's going to soon? It just doesn't feel the same as Division I college football and NFL football.
Okay, so you know what? Let me help you out here. Actually, someone sent us a clip Just relax, everyone. It's only like 10 seconds long if you're not into football. I don't know when this was.
If you're not into football, move to Honduras.
This high schooler.
Or El Salvador.
This high school football play. You got to see this. This is incredible.
Okay.
This defender times the play.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this.
You seen this? I mean, is that awesome? I've never seen that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, October 21. How cool is that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's a linebacker's dream right there.
Right there, yeah. Just takes the pitch. See ya. All right, I like that.
Between the tackling.
Oh, you mentioned if people don't like football, they can just move to Honduras.
That's why I was thinking about it. We were talking about El Salvador, and we were told during the break that apparently crime is doing so well in El Salvador because of corruption. I won't hear of it. A Central American country that has corruption.
Well, we don't know that. That was some Vice article that I think Martin read.
That's what we're hearing from the people. That's all I know.
Okay.
So, but I was thinking about Honduras
because of the
we were
Nebraska
talking about.
story?
Yes,
okay,
because we were talking about it earlier.
So if you're not aware, this story, these two Honduran nationals were at a park in Nebraska.
And of course, they're in the country. These nationals, they're in the country.
Somehow
legally.
they snuck around the secure border.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how. A couple 20-year-old guys. They shot a bald eagle. And we're getting ready to cook it up and eat it.
You're hungry,
and
hungry.
Like the game warden shows up and is like, you're coming with me. So, by the way, if you want to get deported in America, don't worry about, you can rape and pillage and murder all you want. But if you touch one of our bald eagles,
right,
that's when it hits the fan for you legally. So
these guys are hungry. Let them eat.
Yeah, right.
Let them eat a little bald eagle wing.
Look at our
never hurt
majestic.
anybody.
Look at our majestic bald eagle. Do we have a picture of our national bird that's protected?
I know they're beautiful
birds. They are. I mean,
they're
that's
beautiful
stunning,
birds.
right?
But I will say,
what?
I mean, they might put that bad boy over a fire. Might be okay.
I mean,
let me eat. Yeah.
Don't you dare.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Don't let it go to waste. I mean,
what is it? What happens now?
What are they gonna do with it?
I guess maybe we just they'll probably have it. They'll stuff it.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Yeah. Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. Tell you what. I looked up the national bird of Honduras. Okay, and it's the scarlet macaw. Okay, it's also
nice.
It's also endangered.
Those are awful small though. You don't get a lot of meat off of those bad
those
boys.
Are tasty or?
I may give it a shot if you.
I'm just saying.
If I snuck into Honduras, I may.
Got ourselves an international incident here.
Right.
With you killing our national bird. Someone needs to go down there and even it out.
I'm sure there's smuggling of those birds out in and out of that country a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful.
Man. Yeah, they are. And
gosh.
I'm sure there's plenty of smuggling. And there maybe. So do we know did they shoot it with a shotgun? Did they trap
it was a rifle. It was a rifle.
Okay, so it's got. It is able to eat it, so they were already plucking it and everything. That's
I guess
awesome.
They were preparing it. This happened in.
I mean, it's terrible. What am I saying? It's awesome.
Stanton
it's
County,
terrible.
Nebraska. So
now there's one less bald eagle.
So what are we down to? Like 4 now?
They make you believe they're down to 4.
Oh,
I mean they're growing. Every time I turn around, climate change is killing animals. Well, we just found this new animal we never knew existed. Oh, well, here's an animal that we didn't even know was still alive. Oh, okay. All right. Somebody takes a picture of a bug at a Walmart. Look at that bug. Isn't it big? We didn't even think those were still around anymore. Yeah. Okay, climate change. You got me. That's incredible.
Climate change. Oh, speaking of climate change, Greta Thunberg. I swear Pat has made it so that I've forgotten her name. She was okay. So we have the pictures. Remember, we had the video of her
getting arrested
in Germany protesting a coal mine. This was
it was like they were filming, right?
Completely fake arrest.
Fake.
This was not a real arrest. She's laughing, smiling. They're
some of the outtakes. Right, the outtakes are getting ready to be arrested, to be hauled off.
She's protesting a wind farm. I'm sorry, I thought you eco freaks loved wind farms. Why is she protesting this in Norway? So then this protest is happening.
What was she saying? Why was she protesting?
I don't know. Do you know Norwegian? It sounds like they're saying genocide. So anyway, she's getting arrested. Look, the police are hauling her off to the paddy wagon. Here we go. To the jail cell with you, young lady. You won't be protesting in our country. Just come on over here. Look at all these cameras. This is all for show.
The whole
there
thing.
she goes. They got her away from. They're going to take her and put her in the van and take her down to the station.
Put her in the old paddy wagon.
Yeah, let's go. Here we go. We're taking you downtown. No wind farms. No wind. Wait, there's a wall there. Where are you?
Guys, what are you doing?
What are you taking her?
Are they beating her right now? Beating her silly?
Yeah, seriously. What's happening right now? Are we done? Wait. There's a mom or something. They're hugging, getting a picture. We're out of here now. Thank you. We got the shot. We're leaving.
What is going on?
I swear, the world is just—it's a stage, man.
I'm wondering why what the
Put that in a
deal
play.
with
Put
the
that
wind
line in a
farms.
play. The world is a stage. Write that down, Martin. We'll need that later.
The world is a stage?
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
I want to know what she was mad about the wind farms, because obviously they're killing. There's plenty of bald eagles getting sucked up by those wind farms.
Absolutely, there are. And while you look that up, I just want to just a little housekeeping on Havana syndrome. I don't know if you've heard the update on that. Remember, we had some Americans in places like Cuba, was China a location, and maybe someplace else, where they were really sick. Some were vomiting, constant headaches that lasted for the rest of their lives.
And they were denying that it was Havana syndrome.
Right, and that's what they call it, Havana syndrome. And we were like, man, must be some foreign power doing this to our agents. And anyway, it's been concluded after a years-long assessment. 5 U.S. intelligence agencies conclude it is, quote, very unlikely an enemy wielding a secret weapon was behind the mysterious ailment. Let me tell you what it was, okay? I guarantee you it was our own government experiencing on our own people in a foreign country so that they could just blame the foreign country. That's my simple little...
Wow. I thought for sure he was going to say, it was a balloon.
It was a balloon.
It was a balloon flying over.
I'm just going to say 20, 30 years from now, we're going to read something about how we were experimenting on our own people. We knew where they were. We're like, hey, look, let's not do it in the United States. Let's do it. Anyway, continue. What'd you find out about...
So she's protesting these wind farms because they are being built on reindeer grazing grounds.
How dare you?
Right.
Wait, the reindeer aren't the ones being affected by it. It's the bald eagles.
So she's, the
nesting grounds.
The only recognized indigenous group within the European Union. This.
Oh wait, reindeer can fly. I forgot reindeer can fly. That's probably getting hit in the turbines.
The Sami people, SAMI.
Okay.
Sami people, Sami people, whatever. They're indigenous over there. We gave them the land. Be happy. So it's their land and it's their reindeer grazing grounds that these wind farms are being built on. So she's pissed about that. I mean, I guess is she pissed at the restaurant? I just read a big article about Noma, the restaurant that's closing in Copenhagen. It might be closed by now. But the Noma restaurants all serve reindeer penis. And they all serve reindeer brain pudding. What? Are we still mad about that? We mad about that? No. We just don't want the wind farms going up where those poor little reindeer are grazing. Okay. And you're right, reindeer can fly.
Yeah, so that's probably hitting the turbines.
Sight, hitting the reindeer.
So who are the Sami people in Norway?
I don't know.
Like, do we know anything about
indigenous people there? I don't.
So do they build casinos the way Native American tribes do here?
I don't know. You'd think maybe they could, put a windmill on top of a casino.
Yeah.
And for the Sami people, let the reindeer wander around the casino, have a little reindeer runway in the casino. So I could be playing blackjack and have the reindeers walk by in their little tunnel. Be awesome. And you are welcome, Sami people, for that idea.
Yeah, I'm looking up.
$1 million idea.
I'm looking up
because that's what China does to the one. They have the polar bear hotels, right, where you go and the polar bears swim, and they're all part of inside the hotel. So they could do that with reindeer for the. Is it? Seriously, I don't know. Is it Sami people or Sami? It's Sami people. SAMI.
Yeah, don't change it now.
That's all right.
Once you're in it,
you're in it. That's a quote. Jeff Fisher, by the way. Once you're in it, you're in it.
Hey, so Ron DeSantis, right? You've pointed out he's making the book tour.
Governor of the great state of Florida. He's making his big book tour, right?
Yeah.
And I guess he had a little to do.
Well,
at a book signing.
Yeah, and so I guess he was doing a book signing, Books A Million, and then some Trump Trump supporters were there, and I guess the police or mall security, I think it was mall security, came out and was like, okay.
Wait, there's a mall. There's malls? Malls still exist?
That's the news. That's the news.
Florida still has malls.
And so, like, the Trump crowd is like, all right, so cool it with your love affair with Ron DeSantis. I mean, he's trying to keep these free speech folks away. And anyway, so there you go. No, Jeffy's got a comment here.
So, wait, he's having a book signing.
Yes.
At a mall. Okay, so
in theory, like you said, does the mall really exist? Or is this the figment of our imagination?
Right. So it might be an actual outdoor.
The video I saw, and we don't have that, but they were out in the park, and they were way out.
Okay.
I mean, and the cop approached them, and they were 20 spaces deep. I'm like, okay. Now, I don't know what happened before that. I don't know if they were inside making trouble. I just don't know. I'm sorry. So anyway, so people are like, see, look, Ron DeSantis, Mr. Free Speech, what's up with this?
Well, I mean, I'm torn between that. Because he's at a book signing.
You can't disrupt the event.
But you could there for signing his book.
But you could stand there, right?
What are you doing?
In the, I guess it's a private building,
Trump.
Private mall property.
You're there to support Donald Trump. You're there to, badmouth DeSantis. We hate you. Trump, MAGA people.
I'm trying to think of where the nearest public property would be to that. I mean, because if you're that's
quite a ways away.
That's smart to be insulated from protesters. Think of how big the mall property is. And if the nearest public space is the sidewalk, way at the other end of the park, that's where you do book signings if you're a politician. Yeah. That's smart.
You can't be on the property. Yeah, absolutely. It is smart.
So he's making the rounds, and I guess there's a Pat Head, the laureate, who is a big DeSantis supporter. And he has pointed out, he's counted 73 attacks from Donald Trump on Truth Social toward Ron DeSantis.
That doesn't surprise me.
Does that seem low, high? You think that's about right?
Okay, well, we'll go with it. 73.
And before we continue, we need to establish this. What are they called? They're not called tweets.
They're called truths.
They're called truths?
Truths.
Okay. They're called truths. I didn't know. That's what I'm asking.
Have you read them?
Have I read? We've had on the show many of them.
Posts? Okay, then you know they're truths. Okay. What are you talking about?
Yeah, all right. Okay, good job. All right, so he's on with who's this clip?
Jesse Waters.
Jesse Waters. Yeah, a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, because we played the clip with him with Brian, right? On Brian's radio show, Brian Kilmeade, and Brian. They're all trying to poke and prod him.
They're trying to get those two in the ring now.
And he was on with Glenn yesterday, and I'm sure that Glenn poked and prodded him as well. I apologize for not hearing the interview. I was a little busy. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that Glenn poked and prodded him too.
I don't know either.
And this is Jesse Waters.
All right, well, former President Donald Trump, definitely thinking about you. You haven't said a lot. I know you've heard what he said. You can see this collision is coming, can't you?
Well, look, Jesse, I mean, he used to say how great of a governor I was, and then I win a big victory, and all of a sudden, he had different opinions. And so you can take that for what it's worth. But, at the end of the day, I think one of the reasons I've been successful as governor is I don't really pay attention to a lot of the background noise. I mean, he's obviously a big fish, but I get attacked all the time from every different angle. And you either put points on the board or you don't. And so I just focus on delivering the wins. And I think we've done a pretty good job of following through on our promises.
Nice. And that's kind of what he said to Kilmeade, too. That's his generic answer of, look, this is, what do you call it with Kilmeade? A silly season. And, Don can say what he wants. I'm busy focusing on Florida and making it right for the country. And hoping that it bleeds through to the country. I mean, it's a good answer. I don't know. I think he needs to personally. If I were to advise Ron DeSantis, and Ron, 888-900-3393. If you can get in, we'll try to get you in before Joe Montana calls in this morning. If I were advising him, I would tell him to continue to take that high road.
Yeah.
Jesse wants. They all want to have the fight starters. The collision is coming. The collision is coming. But, and Jesse will say, well, by that I mean the campaign, right? If he runs for president, that collision is coming. But The collision, Trump could be the one slamming, and Ron that makes Trump look bad in my eyes.
Let me ask you this. You've officially given up on becoming Postmaster General, right? Or is it just on a shelf?
Not giving up on it.
Just on a shelf right now. How about Pope? Just, again, on the shelf. We're just waiting for the right...
This Pope is not long.
Have you considered running in 2024 for President of the United States? Because there might be a lane for you.
Really?
I mean, it'd be a wide lane, but that's not where I was going. No, seriously, you should do some sort of go buy the domain right now. I don't want to say what I have in mind because someone might scoop it up. But I think you should do this. You should seriously consider running for president of the United States. You got a platform. Just saying.
I do have a platform.
Keep it in mind.
It would be fun.
Plus, I want to be your campaign manager.
It would be fun. I could throw my hat in the ring. And I will say, I've already told you what I would do day one as president of the United States.
Wait, maybe I don't want to be on Team Jeffy. What is it?
An escalator into Air Force One.
Okay.
There's no more stairs.
I'm fine with that.
No more stairs. Day one, we put an escalator on Air Force One.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not climbing those stairs.
Like an industrial size escalator, not one of these just shoddy things that you could build overnight.
Yeah, the ones that they use at the train stations and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you don't want the ones at the train stations. Never mind.
You know the QT, the Quick Trip gas station that you and I pass every day, went up 32 cents overnight.
Yeah, but I will say
what
this.
is happening? Because I asked people on Twitter, and some people's gas is going down. Ours spiked up. What is the deal?
I will say this: the Sam's Club and the Walmart gas station has stayed pretty steady. That QT, for whatever reason, I don't know if they bought some hot gas or if a special load came in.
You got to tarp that.
You have to tarp that was untarped.
Hashtag tarp that load.
I noticed that they were lower than they normally are, and than some of the other places. I was really surprised. I was like, holy crap, why are they so cheap? Because I almost thought about pulling in there. Well, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm not stopping. Okay, I'm going. But I was like, why are they so low the last 2 or 3 days? And you're right. This morning it was like 30 cents, more than 30 cents higher. So it's amazing. I don't know what happened.
Now I don't want to complain.
Now the racetrack that I go by, they've opted to just take the price off their digital sign now. It's just black. So regular, nothing. Diesel, nothing. Must be broken. So I don't know what they're charging.
And notice that all I did was say that the price of gas went up 32 cents. I don't dare tell you how crazy high it is now because I know the rest of the country is still much, much higher. So I don't want to complain.
What do you mean? It's almost $3.
I know.
What are you talking about? It's almost $3 a gallon.
It was $2.67.
I paid $2.69 yesterday. I did play $2.69.
It was $2.67, and then it went up to
not for that. I paid that was more expensive.
Then it went up to $2.99. So that's why I kept it so generic on Twitter. I'm like, boy, it went up 32 cents. How about where you live? I didn't tell you it was still less than $3.
Really strange. And congratulations to the Postal Service, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
They just bought 9,250 electric vans.
Oh, my gosh.
And 14,000 charging stations. They plan to purchase thousands of electric vehicles from Ford, which is pretty incredible that they're buying their electric vehicles from Ford. They just did a multi-billion-dollar battery deal with China. Okay,
what is
that? Good for them. Good for them. But Ford, did you see where Ford just announced that they have new technology in their self-driving car that they patented?
Oh.
That if you don't make your car payment, drives back to the lot. It repossesses itself. Just drives back to the lot.
And who's doing that?
That's Ford. That's their new patent. Here we go. Self-driving car repossesses itself. Now they claim.
Here we go.
They claim that they are going to not. If you miss one payment, they're not just going to have it drive back to the lot because they want you to make your payment.
Yeah. They're just going to lock it.
They might make a little beeping sound.
Okay.
Or they might, when you get in, you might not be able to listen to the radio. You might not be able to have some of the amenities that you normally would have if you made your payments. But finally, if you haven't paid, if that doesn't work, if that doesn't make you pay, You were driving it back to the lot.
You missed, what, 2-3 payments?
I don't know. They didn't say. All right. And then they said in their report, they talked about how the patent describes a car self-driving back to the showroom or a scrapyard if the owner does not answer messages about their delinquent account. So if you have an older model car, like say if you've been paying on, you have an older model car, it may just drive to the scrapyard, and the company Ford will have a deal with the scrapyard, right? If our cars show up, we get so much money, and you keep the scrap, right? So it just drives to the scrap. Where's I want to pay off my car? Yeah, no, it's already
just
smashed.
Just wait. What's going to happen? Someone's going to change their phone number or something like that, and they're going to be sending text messages or whatever into a void, and then they're going to go out for work the next day, and their car's going to be gone, and all because they weren't able to. And I guess the answer would be make your payments on time.
You will pay your bills. That's right.
This is going to get interesting.
And that's a great new patent from Ford, though, because I'm surprised that some of the other companies don't have that already.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the USPS misses a bill, we'll be seeing the old Postal Service trucks going to the scrap.
Oh, but they're so good at making money, though, the post office.
I know. That's why I need to run that joint.
So they're totally fine making their payments on time.
I need to run that joint. Holy cow.
If you love your country, you'll buy a book of stamps today. They've got payments to make.
Buy a book of stamps with an eagle on it. Okay, make sure you do that.
Do it in honor of that one that got
Hondurans eating eagles in this country. I'll tell you that. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Pat Gray Unleashed. I think Hillary's here doing her little 4-minute buzz thing today, right?
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.